Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I went shopping. Actually, I didn't really go anywhere because this is actually an online shopping haul. And I hit the basics. I did Ulta, Sephora, and Nordstrom. And so that's kind of why I don't have any shopping bags to hold up and be like, I went shopping, because they all came in ugly brown boxes. So I've been collecting for a little while, and I've actually used a number of the products because I wanted to be able to give at least a couple of preliminary comments on the stuff that I bought. Not everything I bought is new to me. Some of them are repurchases, but a lot of it, a whole table full of stuff here, but a lot of it is new to me as well, and I wanted to be able to make a couple of comments about it rather than just holding it up and being like, yeah, I bought this, I hope it works. So if you want to see what I was able to buy online at some pretty fabulous stores, then let's get started. So I'm going to start with Ulta, and I think this covers a couple of different trips, because my problem with Ulta is that they're always giving you bonuses, you know, buy a certain amount of money or products, and then they'll give you an awesome bonus. And I've gotten the bonuses quite a few times. So if you're careful enough about it, you can space out your shopping trips so that you can continue to get all of their bonuses, because who doesn't like free shit, right? I love free shit. Okay, so apparently I'm keeping Lorac in business because I bought 3 things from her, or it. It's a company, but it's Carol. Anyway, I bought 3 things. They recently came out with the Pro Matte and Metal compacts. The metal one obviously being the shiny one, and the matte one being their standard typical packaging. I love the matte one. First of all, I've got a number of the Lorac Pro eyeshadow palettes already because I think they're really great. The eyeshadow formula is top notch. I just like the convenience of it being so small. There's a range of colors from light to dark. I think it goes as dark as jet black. And linen is just, linen here is just kind of an off-white. But there's a burgundy, which is kind of a reddish tone, which I think complements all skin tones and all eye colors. And then a series of browns with a really awesome option on crease colors too. That's kind of my problem with some eyeshadow palettes, that there aren't really good selections of crease colors. I'm very particular with my crease colors. The 2 that are in here are called Latte and Pink Mauve. This being Latte, this being Pink Mauve, and you can do a number of looks with each of those as a base crease color. So, score. The matte one is exactly what it says. They are matte in color. The blue one scares me. I don't usually do blue, but what a great way to try if it's within a palette, right? There's a really awesome color called Clover. Oh, let me show you the blue one too. There's a really awesome color called Clover, which is kind of like a minty olive green. And then here's the blue. What do they call the blue? The blue is called Cobalt. And they're just, this blue is actually really pretty. I kind of wasn't expecting that. I'm afraid of blue. But you know, you gotta step outside your box every once in a while. So I was super excited about that, to be able to get a separate matte and a separate metallic palette from Lorac. I also got the I have eyeshadow all over my hands. I'm back with reinforcements, baby wipes. I love the packaging that baby wipes come in, that they're just like, they're so crinkly. Okay, let me get that blue and that green off, because you know I'm gonna like move my hair and give myself like an awesome blue extra spare eyebrow, like 3rd eyebrow. No good. Okay, I also got the Lorac Pro Contour Palette, which I did a review on. I'll include that link in the description box below. But I love this palette. This palette is amazing. I think it can suit a wide range of skin tones. They are very pigmented. So you gotta be a little bit careful with that, but I use it for a number of other things except just contouring and highlighting, which was why I've really gotten a lot of use out of this palette. I got an oldie but goodie. I picked up another Hoola bronzer by Benefit. I kind of always break up with this bronzer. I kind of always break up with this bronzer and then find myself going back to him. I don't know why it's a him, but it's a him for our conversation today. It always bothers me that it barely swatches. And I'm always like, well, how much could that actually be doing? And then when you wear it, I mean, here it is being swatched. But I just feel like you compare it to other bronzers, you're like, oh, what kind of bronzer do I want to go for today? And it just completely doesn't look like anything. And yet it works magic on your face. And so I have to be reminded of that every once in a while, that I really do love this bronzer. So I was pretty excited to pick up another. New to me is by Laura Gellar. It's the Baked, which I love the name, Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator in Gilded Honey. And I've heard everybody's been talking about how it's potentially a dupe for the MAC highlighter, whose name, Whisper of Guilt. It's like, wow, that name totally just fell literally right out of my brain. So this highlighter is actually really pretty. It's on the gold side, which I favor because I don't think that the silvers look exceptionally good with my skin tone. So when there's a gold base to it, I really like it, and I'm super happy I got that. I hear, rumor, that Whisper of Guilt might be coming back at the holiday time. And just for the record, even though I've got that one that looks so similar, I'm probably still gonna buy that one too. From Benefit, I also picked up the Professional primer. I'm kind of into trying a number of primers right now, and I will actually be making a video about that in the very near future. I like getting this, I actually really like this one. I like getting the small version. This is that like $10 quarter ounce. Hi, my. But it lasts a really long time. I like getting the small one because when you play out the math in comparison to the full size, it's just about the same. Like, you're not really losing any money. So I like buying it in the small version because you never know when something else is going to come along that you're going to want to try that might potentially be better. And you don't want all this surplus product that you've got that you've already spent money on. So whenever I can get smaller sizes, I kind of love it. But that being said, I'm going to probably have to step up to the large size of this because I am really enjoying it. I also took advantage of Ulta's buy one, get one at half off, and I got not one, but two of the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Demi Matte foundations. By far right now, my most favorite drugstore foundation. I have oily skin, so all of the All Day Luminous and all those foundations, I know CoverGirl's got some, all of those sorts of foundations, no good for me because I look like I just ran a marathon even though I'd put my makeup on 10 minutes ago. But this foundation is fabulous, and I really had no problem stocking up when I was able to take advantage of their sale because I know that no matter what, it's going to be in my catalog for quite a long time. One more thing I forgot from Ulta, which I can really only find at Ulta.com anyway, which I think this product was actually what started the whole Ulta online purchase. This is by NYX. It's the Control Freak Eyebrow Gel. That is really tiny writing. I'm not quite sure how much of that's gonna come up, but it's an eyebrow gel. Pretty straightforward, right? But that being said, I love the bristles on this one because they're kind of far apart. The way I actually use this is for my part on my hairline. So I've got very straight hair, clearly, right? When I part my hair, I have all of these little fuzzy fingers of hair that stick up like right at the part. And so I use this I don't want to spray my whole head with like hairspray because that's unnecessary. But I use this to just ever so slightly get the flyaways and get the little wispies. I thought it was frizz. My hairdresser told me that it was actually just a new hair growth that was just not long enough to be laying straight out, I guess. I think by far the best eyebrow gel out there is obviously the one by Anastasia because it really does keep your eyebrows in place. However, it's so powerful and so strong that I have used that on my hair to get my flyaways to stay down, and it winds up getting flaky because I think it's just so strong. This I've used on my eyebrows as well and have found and confirmed that it is not as strong as the Anastasia brow gel, the clear brow gel. And so it winds up being great for my hair because it doesn't wind up when you move it and it just starts to flake. Anastasia will do that in your hair, which clearly it was not intended for, but I was getting creative. I loved the brush on this one, and so I decided to give the formula a try. And so as an alternate use item, my next store is Nordstrom. It really should have been, I should probably call it MAC because I think 8 of the 9 items are from MAC. Nordstrom's return policy is so much friendlier than what you could do at MACcosmetics.com. MAC now offers free return shipping, but you have to call them and get a return number, and then you have to wait like 2 to 3 days for them to send you a shipping label in the mail. I'm like, I don't have time for that. I'm sorry. Not when I can get your product someplace else for exactly the same price, and it's way friendlier and way easier. So I went to Nordstrom.com and bought a whole bunch of MAC stuff and one other thing. So let's do the one other thing first, because it's so pretty. I got the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow, what do they call it? Film Star Bronze and Glow Face Sculpt and Highlight. How beautiful is that? I'm kind of one of those people that likes to have each company or each designer's like signature product, and people were talking every day, all day long about this, and I thought, well, I gotta get my hands on that because I really gotta try it, even though I already have about 10 million bronzers and highlighters, both in combination packaging and separate, but you know, really, who could have too much? You can never have too much. I think it's gorgeous. The formula is really creamy. They are pigmented, but not over pigmented. In comparison to the Lorac Pro contour palette, Lorac's is very, very pigmented and you have to be careful. This one, I feel you have a little bit more latitude, and that's obviously very useful. So let me swatch the highlight and the bronzer. They actually, and this was my problem, I started thinking about Benefit, the Hoola bronzer, because the bronzer on my hand wasn't really swatching all that much. Here's the highlighter and here's the bronzer. So you can see them, but they're just not, you know, they're just not very overwhelming. When you put them on your skin though, they're just gorgeous. And so I think the key, I should really take a lesson that if it doesn't swatch all that well on your hand, it's going to look fabulous on your skin. What I do love in particular, well, I'm actually about either shade. The highlight shade is not too silver, but it's not too gold either. It's a nice happy medium between the two, which means it's something that I can prefer to wear. The bronzer, I think, is an amazing contour shade. I think contour shades sometimes are pretty hard to find for individual skin tones because you kind of got to hit it just right. And I think the contour shade really is just cool enough, especially for someone with yellow toned skin. It's just cool enough that it does the trick really nicely, really beautifully, and blends in very, very naturally. So even though this, I think this is a gold bar, actually. Is this a legit gold bar? Because this was $68, which is a lot. But every once in a while you have to splurge. You just have to do it, not feel guilty about it, and just move on. Okay, so from MAC, I got some oldies but goodies. I got some new stuff. I got some refill stuff. So here we go. I got a miniature travel MAC Fix Plus. It's so bubbly now. Apparently I overshook it. Although you can use eye drops, Fix Plus is awesome to spray on your eyeshadow brush when you want to really intensify the color of an eyeshadow. Awesome. But what I learned was, for me, so I've got really oily skin that tends to, I have this one hair that will not leave my nose alone. What I learned was, as I was saying, I have oily skin that by the end of the day can sometimes get dry and patchy, which is just awesome. Try to find beauty products to deal with that. So in particular, my foundation would sometimes get a little patchy towards the end of the day. And I noticed this when I would kind of look up close in a mirror as I was getting ready to go out at night, and I'd be like, oh, that foundation really doesn't look so fresh, but I don't have time to put on a whole new face. I love that term, by the way, a whole new face. Since Fix Plus is used to take away the powder look, it kind of moistens. I know so many people don't like that word. I actually don't like that word either, but on the spot I can't think of a better word. Fix Plus can moisten the look on your face. So what I would do is, if I was touching up my foundation, is I will spray my face with Fix Plus, and then it just kind of melds. I don't know, it just kind of resets it's like a nail polish top coat. You know, like if you get a smudge on your nail polish, if you just kind of use a top coat sometimes, you can kind of disguise or soften the look of that smudge. That's what Fix Plus does for me when I'm trying to freshen my makeup. So I actually carry this with me because it's an invaluable tool when I want to freshen myself up without actually reapplying a whole new, actually never mind even reapplying, without even having to carry foundation and a foundation brush or, you know, whatever. So it just winds up being super, super useful. I bought a couple of compacts. This is an oldie but goodie. I got the MAC Soft and Gentle highlighter, which I always find these so hard to open. There we go. And so many people talked about it, and I was like, why? That's right here. Like, why don't I have that in my collection? So here's the Charlotte Tilbury, which is a little bit golder. This one's a little bit pinker, which I actually really like too, because again, I tend to stay away from the super silver ones. This highlighter compact, by the way, is huge. Has anybody ever actually gone through one of these? I've used it so many times, and there's still a pretty valid dome right there still. Holy cow. Well, that's good. At least it'll last a long time. I don't really think it was that expensive either. Wasn't cheap, but wasn't outrageously expensive either. So you get what you pay for. In their limited edition launch, this one, what is this? The Tumble and Dry, Wash and Dry? It doesn't say. Oh, come on. The laundry themed limited edition release by MAC. I stumbled across it when I was on the website because it had come out like a while ago actually. So I got this really beautiful peachy color. I don't like it. In fact, it's going back. The reason for that is because, oh, see, this contradicts now. It's here. You can't see it. You also cannot see it on my face. So this now contradicts my theory of if it doesn't swatch really good on your skin, it'll probably look awesome on your face. I don't know if this would look awesome on my face because I can't see it. And so it's such a bummer because in the compact, it's a really pretty color and it just doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I don't even have exceptionally dark skin. So I was super happy that I picked up another blush. This is Melba by MAC, another oldie but goodie. I'm running out of places. So it's a peachy pink, but definitely more peachy because I hate when a peachy pink is pink. I like when a peachy pink is peach. Whatever. So here it is. Pretty neutral and basic for many, many skin tones. Can go with a variety of eye looks and lip colors. And so I'm really enjoying Melba. And I don't really know how I haven't had it in my collection sooner. So new to me, out for a while, live. Okay, so I also bought some MAC lipsticks. I'm gonna go back again to an oldie but goodie that I did not have. This is Viva Glam 2. It is a very, it's a mauve-y color. I think it's matte. Is it matte? No, it's satin. But their satin line is actually just super impressive because it's not shiny. So I think of it as a very creamy matte. I'm totally right now into kind of the mauve-y pinks with like purple undertones. And so even though it's been out, what are we on, like Viva Glam 6 now? Even though it's been out for a while, it was a color I would not have considered for myself before. And so now I'm kind of into that theme. And so it's like a whole new rediscovery for me. So here is, oh, it's gorgeous. Viva Glam 2. You know, it's mauve-y pink with a hint of brown undertone, purple undertone, satin, super comfortable. Oh my gosh, it's one of my new friends, except for the fact that I picked up, wait, let me find it. I feel like I'm playing like a checkers game or something. I also picked up their Cream Sheen formula Modesty. Cream Sheen, Matte Cream Sheen has to be my most favorite lipstick ever. I love that you can just, even the darker colors, you can put it on, you don't have to be super exact. They're moisturizing, they're creamy, they don't slide off your face though the way some lip glosses do. So in my mauve theme here, I picked up Modesty, which is also similar to Viva Glam 2. This would be Modesty here. I think it's just a hair pinker. It's actually what I'm wearing right now. Again, I love that it's so global. Wow, we just got very fancy there. It's so global because you can wear a brown smoky eye with it, a dark, you know, black gray smoky eye with it. You can wear a purple based eye color with it, and it really just blends, and you can vary up your cheek color as well, your blush. I think it just blends so nicely with a variety of different color palettes. So I got another 2 MAC lipsticks out of their new release, which is called the, I'm not French, Veluxa Trois. I can't. I'm gonna put it on the screen here because I can't say. But it's the new limited edition. Oh my god! Apparently, when one cannot speak French, one then cannot speak English. It's the new limited edition line, and if you go to their website or maybe see their campaign, they're mimicking dogs, which I like dogs. And it's very creative of a campaign, and so I don't know, I've said before, limited edition will make me buy anything. So immediately I was like, oh yeah, I have to have me some of that. So I'm kind of annoyed at them, and I'm on the fence about whether or not to keep them. The reason for that is because their names do not match what they look like. Your name should be a representation of the shade of color that you are. For example, let me start with the one that really pisses me off. It's a cream sheen though, and I love cream sheens. I don't think I've ever turned my back on a cream sheen. This one is called How Tropical. So when you hear that, wouldn't you think maybe peachy, pinky, coral, maybe not bright, maybe a little muted, but kind of around that area? No. Nude. Missing. Like the color is missing. So I put this on. I guess I've got somewhat of a pink based natural lip tone to begin with. So when I put this on, I mean, it just, oh wow, it's no good. It's actually a pretty color. It's so neutral though. That is like as neutral of a nude. And that's like nude. That's not a pinky nude. That's not a peachy nude. That's like nude. That's like take some brown and add a lot of white to it and you have nude. It has nothing to do with tropicalness though. That made me so mad. It doesn't look anything like its name, and that is very frustrating. The other one I got is also a cream sheen called Pillow Talk, which Pillow Talk is the name of the super popular lip liner from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm not sure it's a coincidence that it's called Pillow Talk. But a cream sheen again, which like I said, until How Tropical, I've never turned my back on a cream sheen. This one, maybe it's because it's the dog theme, because you don't really see like a pink dog. This is kind of just a deeper, it's like it's kind of brown. I might still like it. I'm actually not sure. I don't even know if I like it for day or if I like it for evening, because it's a challenging color for me right now. But I am gonna hold on to it and give it a shot because like I said, I really do love cream sheens and it's very neutral, I'll give it that. But I'm just not sure. So as if we were at the mall, we are now leaving the beauty department of Nordstrom and heading right over to Sephora. So I'm gonna mention this real quick. I mentioned this actually in, I think it was my June favorites. I'll link that down below. Becca Champagne Pop collaboration with Jaclyn Hill. Nothing really more to say. Fabulously awesome. Also, everybody's I think actually a lot of either tutorials or get ready with me's on YouTube, which I am going to start soon. Everybody's putting on Too Faced Born This Way and following up with Champagne Pop by Becca. This is fabulous. Remember I talked about L'Oreal Infallible being the best drugstore foundation? Let me say this. That one is definitely mattifying in nature. This one is kind of a little bit luminous because I don't want a lot of luminous because I have naturally oily skin. And so, like I said, I did a review on this and I'll link that below. It just, I think I will always, like for example, when I travel, I will always have the L'Oreal Infallible and I will always have Too Faced Born This Way. It was like love at first feel. Was that okay? Okay, love at first application. And it just, I don't know, their color selection is amazing. It applies beautifully. It lasts and ages throughout the day very naturally and beautifully. My only thing is I don't have to ever really touch up or blot with the L'Oreal Infallible during the day. I might want to grab an oil blotting paper or maybe a little pressed powder at some point later on in the day. But again, that's my own problem because I have an oil factory underneath my skin. I picked up a very expensive primer. And I indicated earlier that I'm kind of testing a number of primers right now. I also talked earlier about how I like to buy things in tiny sizes. This is the Hourglass Mineral Veil primer. That's not what it's called. I mixed up those words, but I cannot seem to get them in the right order, so that's what I'm calling it. And I like this primer. And I'm still, like I said, I'm still kind of testing it, but my initial reaction is that I do really like this primer. It is very, very silky. And for those days where I have extra dry skin because maybe I've been treating, you know, my acne or my oiliness, sometimes you can't help but overdo it a little bit, so I don't want to use a mattifying primer. This primer is just gorgeous. It really does take care of fine lines. It does smooth your pores over, but it's definitely not a mattifying primer. And it feels rich. Feels like it cost a lot of money, which it should, because it cost a lot of money. This little guy, this tiny little guy, was like not quite 20 bucks. The regular full size, which I'm guessing is only about an ounce, is like $72. But I'm still kind of comparing and I'm still trying to decide what I like, and I really wanted to give that a shot because I heard a lot of people were talking about it. I got the 4th edition of the Urban Decay Naked eyeshadow palette line. This is the smoky version. The smoky version I'm very excited about for this reason. I probably own 50 million brown warm eyeshadows to create a variety of looks, and you know every single one of them is different from each other. I do not, however, own a number of black, gray, cool tone shadows. So what I like about this palette so much is that it's a good quality palette. Obviously we all know that the shadows themselves are pigmented, creamy, and they blend nicely to different degrees by comparison with other brands, but I love that there is the range of the warm to the cool. So if I were to take this on a trip, I could create an unlimited number of different eyeshadow looks because it's got, you know, the black and a darker gray and a silver metallic, and similarly it does that in the brown warm shades as well. And so I just thought it was really, really versatile, and I wanted to buy more, and so I bought it. But I justified it by saying it was really, really useful. My last purchase is a tool. It's by Tweezerman, and it's an eyelash curler, right? Okay, well, these have been around forever. But what's so great about it is that it's for the wide-eyed or almond-shaped eye people. I don't necessarily think I have almond-shaped eyes. They are kind of elongated, they're not round. I got big eyes. I got big old fancy cow eyes. And so oftentimes when I would use an eyelash curler, the last couple of eyelashes would kink because they would get stuck in the end. And not only is that not healthy for them, it looked dumb. And so when I saw that they came out with this tool, I was like, hook me up, because this is what I've been waiting for my entire eyelash life. It's as if they took the normal design of the eyelash curler, the bend, and they just like opened it just a little bit so that it got wide enough and was able to accommodate almond-shaped eyes or larger eyes. And I just kind of feel like, what took you so long? You know, like, eyes are different shapes, so why are the eyelash curlers that are available all kind of the same shape? So, plus I like that it's gunmetal because it's saying like, I'm different. I am for you. So that concludes my online haul, which, please let me remind you that I did not buy this all at one time. I have been gathering them over a period of time. Otherwise, it looks like I just dropped a lot of cash all at one time. But like I said, I wanted to kind of try things out so that I had some comments to make and some other things I'm undecided about. So we'll see if they make it into a favorites or an unfavorites video in the future. So please tell me below, what are some of the beauty products that you've purchased recently? Or maybe something that I didn't show on my shopping list and maybe I should have gotten. So as is common at the end of YouTube videos that you watch, I will give you the typical spiel. Please like the video and give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe if you haven't, I would totally appreciate it. And please do leave me a comment below because I enjoy reading them and would love to comment. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's all 3 of those things. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Until then, I do hope you have a great day. Thanks.
They say that shopping releases the same kind of brain chemicals that, like, drugs do. And shopping, I'd much rather be shopping. Shopping is actually so much healthier for you. I think that is an excellent rationalization. Oh my god, it smells so good in here. That's not a face you really should be putting out there. Put that back in the box. Put it back in the box. Both my dogs are asleep on the couch right now and could care less about what it is I'm talking about or doing. Apparently, I am no longer the center of their universe. You can't really see, but my t-shirt has a tiny little pocket. That's it. Tiny little pocket. What does one put in such a tiny little pocket? I suppose one puts a tiny little item. And I'm not sure why I went British talking about a tiny little pocket. But I have one, and I think it's way cute. Not sure. My lipstick is fading. Do I lick my lips a lot? No, I don't think so. I think I would have remembered doing something like that. I am just now going to clean myself of all of the swatches, because I see that up next in my discussion are my new lipsticks, and I gotta have a place to put those bad boys. I just changed the zoom, so now I'm not sure how close or how far I was. So, like, the split scene is gonna be like I'm here, and then like I'm here. Okay, whatever. Third world problems, right? Because that's not even necessary every time you buy something. I buy things strictly because they are not useful and I just want them.